Hey everyone, welcome to Pajama Cooking. I'm Gina Slider, I'm your host, as you know. Okay, so today we are going to make one of my favorite recipes. It is bread pudding. If you have never made bread pudding before, you need to. It will be life-changing. So most of the recipes that I found were all about 2 cups of bread, 3 cups of bread. Okay, it's not going to feed anybody. When you make bread pudding, you want to make it like you're making it for 10 people. So we have adapted a recipe. I've made it my own, and I used Paula Deen actually. I love her bread pudding recipe, but I was like, I think I'm going to use a few other ingredients and kind of mix it up a little bit. So I just kind of played with the recipe, tinkered, and this is what I came up with. And I get requested to make this on almost a weekly basis. So if you're a cook, obviously you are if you're watching this, you probably make bruschetta or bruschetta. And when you use your ciabatta buns, save the ends. So that's what I've done here. I've actually saved the ends of these ciabatta buns, and I basically let them dry. And now what we're going to do with the bread pudding is we're going to make this delicious concoction, and it's going to soak it in, we're going to cook it, we're going to eat it, it's going to be beautiful. So we've got probably about 8 cups. I would say 8 cups of pieces this big. So I'm going to do that for now. Just kind of put that in the pan. And you want to make sure that it's somewhat even too when you're doing this, because you don't want some parts to be sticking out and they may not get enough of that amazing fluid, okay? So make sure that that's nice and in. You really can use any bread, by the way. And I'm going to use this exact same bowl. Now, I know Paula Deen loves her granulated sugar. I love brown sugar. That's my thing. So anytime that I see white sugar, I try not to use it if I can help it. Then the way that I like to make bread pudding is like a custard. So we are going to start out with a ton of eggs. If you can, use free run, free range, organic. Try and use eggs that actually are good for you. You want to make sure they're kind of yellow in color too. You don't want them, like if you see these, they're a nice dark kind of color. You don't want them, there we go. Hopefully I don't drop them, right? You don't want them to be like that weird, crazy, bright yellow. I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with those chickens, so don't eat those. Now you don't have to get white eggs or brown eggs. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as they're, if you can, local, especially if you have chickens in your backyard, which honestly, hopefully one day I really hope that we have. Yes, my husband and I were talking about that. About getting chickens and goats and kind of becoming almost like a farmer. Kind of fantastic, kind of want to try it. We'll see how that goes. If any of you are watching and you have a farm or own a farm, let us know. Write it in the comments. Subscribe, let us know. Be like, you know what? I own a farm, this is how it is. Love it, hate it, tell me what it's all about. Okay, I crack eggs, my hands get dirty. Thank God I have a sink. Do a quick wash. Oh, by the way, always wash your hands before you start cooking. I always wash my hands before. I know I didn't show you, but it's very important to do that. Okay, so let's just kind of mix these a little bit, just kind of crack them, mix them up nice. By the way, follow along. Let's do this together. If you want to fast forward, go ahead, but I suggest we do it together, because then you'll be at the same pace, you'll know exactly how much time it takes, and then you can plan your day around it. So once that's all nice and mixed, I like to add some cream. So today we're using lactose free, basically because it was on sale. So all you moms out there know exactly what I'm talking about. If it's on sale, you're going to buy it. If you can get the organic stuff on sale, by all means, highly recommend it. So this is 473 milliliters. We are going to be using, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Because it's almost 2 cups. Wonderful. So we're going to put that right in there, about 2 cups of cream. This is whipping cream, by the way. Not half and half. It's 35%. That is what I use. Go big or go home, right? Especially when you're making this for guests. You want it to have that nice rich flavor. Delicious. Okay, beautiful. Get that nice and mixed. The next thing you want to do is your vanilla extract. Okay. Personally, I love Mexican vanilla extract. That's my thing. You can use any vanilla extract you like. Now, it always says, oh, about 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons. No. Get the flavor. Whatever it says, double it. So, There we go. That's a good amount of vanilla. Oh, you can smell it. Oh, okay, now I'm getting excited. I love the smell of fresh vanilla. Oh my goodness. The next thing I want to do is add a little bit of pop. So to do that, we've got cinnamon, nutmeg, and a smidge of allspice. Okay, cinnamon, one of my favorite ingredients. Just take this thing off. You're not going to be sprinkling it. We're going to be putting a whole bunch in here. We want that flavor profile to absolutely come out. You want to be able to taste the cinnamon. And one thing, you can't have cinnamon without nutmeg, really. I don't know anyone that cooks with cinnamon and not nutmeg. Nutmeg is a little stronger. Be careful with this one. This one, you can just sprinkle. That's okay. Actually, this kind of reminds me of eggnog. Oh my gosh, I haven't had eggnog in a while. Hey, if you have an eggnog recipe, send it over, guys. Okay, a little bit of nutmeg. And then we're going to do a smidgen of allspice. This, again, very, very, very strong. So I'm literally probably going to use about 1/8 of a teaspoon on that one, because that is, yeah, you'll taste that. I promise. Absolutely promise you'll taste that. Give that a little mix. I might need a little bit of extra liquid on this. I'm just looking at how much liquid I have in comparison. Okay, then you want to add a little bit of sugar. Not a lot, just a little bit. I usually go with about 1 cup of sugar. Lumpy. Okay, I'm sure yours is lumpy at home too. Let's not pretend that we all have perfect sugar like Martha Stewart. It just doesn't happen. And if it does, God bless ya. Because I find it a little bit difficult in my home. Even though I have one of those little sugar things in here. Yeah, so let's just pack that down. Just break up those little pieces. Okay, let's put that in. This is going to give it like a nice sweetness. The other thing that you can do, actually we're going to be making a sauce. Because one time I tried it with melting butter in it just to see if it made a difference, but I'd rather the sauce. Okay, so that is looking good. It is smelling good. Okay, now let's give it like a smidgen of a taste. You're cooking at home, so I'm sure you taste it like this, where you grab your baby finger, dip it in and taste it. We all do. However, I am going to show you a different method. Good old spoon. Little dip. Delicious. Not too sweet. Oh my god, I think you guys are going to absolutely love this. Alright, so we're going to pour this all over. Make sure all of that gets nice and covered. Okay, so we actually did make enough. Go. That's pretty fantastic. Alright, so now that that's in there, get that really in there. We want these just to soak this up. The more they soak it up, the better. We want them just to enjoy it. It's almost like a drunken bread. There we go. Okay, now that that's all, if you do this and you're like, you know what, I could really go for like a little bit more, like almost like the custard. What you can do is, let's say we ran out of cream. Like example right now, I don't have any extra cream. So what you can substitute, or I find that works, is actually evaporated milk. So why don't we just open it up right now. If you have more cream, go for it. Realistically, we're just kind of having fun here and just talking about what like normally happens when you're in a kitchen and trying to make a new recipe or something that you're adapting. So just get a little bit of evaporated milk. This can isn't much. It's 354 mils, and then you can just add a little bit of flavoring. You don't need to add all the flavoring that you did before, like as much, just a smidgen, and don't add extra sugar. No point in adding extra sugar. It's already sweet enough, I promise you. Okay, beautiful. So just gives it like this little bit more. Mix that up. Okay? And then you're like, yep, then you can just pour it all in. There you go. Beautiful. And then that'll give it also just a little bit extra flavor. Oh, I can feel these already getting nice and soft. So all we're going to do now is we're going to cover it. We're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. Don't forget to preheat your oven. You want it to be preheated to 350 degrees. So don't forget to throw that on right now. Let these sit, and then we'll come back. We'll throw it in, and we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so now that our bread is soaked for about 10 minutes, and I'm sure you cleaned up your kitchen because I know I did, we're actually going to make the sauce for it. So this is the sauce you put on top of the cooked bread, the bread pudding when it's all cooked and done. Also, so if you're wondering why we use the dried out bread, it's simply because one, we don't want to waste food, and two, because what happens is because it's dry, it's going to actually suck up the moisture. If you try and put like a normal piece of bread, it sucks it up but not as well, and you don't get the same kind of flavor. This will penetrate the entire piece of bread. Alright, so what we need first is we need a saucepan. So honestly, the sauce isn't going to be that much. This to me is not a saucepan. I don't know about you, but when I make sauce I make it bigger, but apparently this is a saucepan. So we're going to use this little mini pan, and we need half a cup of butter. So my butter is usually on my counter like this, and I have no idea what half a cup is. Thank God I have one of these beautiful other butters that I can actually just kind of look at, because I'm sure that you all do that too, and just kind of eyeball it. So half a cup of butter is about that much. That looks like a lot of butter. But we're going to throw that into the saucepan, or what people deem a saucepan. Alright, let's get that out of the way. And then we're going to do a cup of sugar. Now, again, not a big fan of the granulated white sugar, so we're going to use the brown sugar. Okay, whoop, that's way too much. Yeah, this bread pudding, bit sweet, right? The sauce, it doesn't matter if it's sweet because you can put as little as you want on it or as much. Sometimes you can also use sweetened condensed milk. So instead of making your own little sauce, just do sweetened condensed milk. But personally, I like this sauce. One, because it has brandy, and two, because it's kind of sweet. So with the one egg, we want to actually, I've never had that happen before. Actually, a little tip to get these out, wet your hands. Because if you wet your hands, the yolk and the little white part won't stick to the shell. And it sticks to your fingers and you can actually pull it out. So we want to actually mix this. Okay. We have to mix all of this together. This is going to be loads of fun. So you don't have to, obviously mine's at room temperature, so it's easy to kind of cream this all together and make it go everywhere. Ladies and gents, I am not going to sit here and pretend that I am a chef. I am someone who loves to cook, and to be honest, my food does come out pretty awesome every single time. I have a lot of people that can vouch for that. So, there we go, and we're going to just mix in some vanilla. Like I said, usually it says like a teaspoon. If you really want, that's like a teaspoon. I'm going to put 2. Double, double, double. Can't have too much vanilla in this life. And then you want to just mix in that nice egg. Yum! So the other thing that we want to do is we don't want it to curdle, remember that. When we put this on the stove to heat, we don't want it to curdle either. So very low heat just until the butter melts. So again, this was adapted from a recipe that I saw. And then 1/4 cup of brandy. Yep, that doesn't really measure liquids. It's supposed to be for solids, but it's okay. We can do that. It's not a big deal. It's just a little sauce, right? Alright, let's go throw that on the stove and heat it very, very gently and see what we can come up with, shall we? Okay, so I know technically you're not supposed to be putting the egg and everything and just putting it on the stove just like this, but when you put it on a very low heat, it actually does work. For all the chefs out there, but I know you're going to sit there and criticize, that's okay. I know this isn't 110% correct, but it still works and it still comes out nice and it doesn't curdle. So we're just going to gently heat this up. It's on like a medium-ish heat. Also, you probably can hear the oven. It's because I put it on 350, I put convect bake. I like the convection bake, basically because what happens is the air circulates and it cooks it more evenly. So when you have a bread pudding, it'll cook it nice and even. You won't get like a hot, it reduces a hot spot. So this is just heating up very, very slowly. So with the constant stirring and it's on low heat, then you get this nice, beautiful sauce. That looks amazing. All right, let's taste it. Oh, that is delicious. You can taste the brandy. Oh my goodness. Okay, don't even bother with sweetened condensed milk. You have to use this sauce. We're gonna be putting this in the oven. It just needs to cook for about 25 minutes or until when you put a toothpick or a piece of spaghetti. Trick. Grab a piece of spaghetti or anything, put it right in the middle, make sure it comes out clean. So we're gonna put that in for 25 minutes. We're gonna come back, pour this on, and we're gonna try this. Okay, so it's been about 25 minutes, actually a little bit longer for ours. And I'm gonna pull it out. Okay, beautiful. Okay. So be careful you don't burn yourself taking that off. Okay, got my little linguine. Put it in the middle, completely clear. All right, now comes the good part. We actually get to try this, and we have our sauce. We just reheated it to make it nice and silky smooth again. So let's try a little bit. Let's grab, all right, remember, keep the glove on, it's really hot. I always suggest eating this nice and hot. Obviously you can have it cold too, but I like it hot. So let's just take a little bit. I know my husband's going to be super excited to try this. Okay, just drizzle nice. Beautiful. This brandy in this, oh goodness. It is just to die for, guys. Okay, now let's get our fork. It's nice. Okay. Might be a little bit hot, so be careful. Oh my god, that is delicious. Okay guys, I really hope yours turned out as well as mine. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you like or you don't like, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'm here for you. I want to make these recipes good for you. So let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you the next time. I am cooking in pajamas.